We're here at the Valemount Museum for a brand new exhibit called Hold Fast, Let Go, Reflections on Home and Family with three artists, Frances Goby, Mo Hamilton and Catherine Riddell, which has been organized and circulated by the Two Rivers Gallery and sponsored by the province of BC, British Columbia Arts Council, the City of Prince George and the Regional District of Fraser-Fort George. And we're welcoming Frances Goby to Valemount.
Well, thank you very much. I'm really pleased to be here, despite all the smoke around us. Yeah.
Unfortunate, but hopefully that clears up soon. Tell us a little bit about this exhibit if you can.
The exhibit was curated by the Two Rivers Gallery. They've taken the work of the three artists and found that we had a common theme to our work about home. And my work specifically relates to my kind of questioning being a stay-at-home mom, my role within the home, as well as wanting to, fulfill myself through a career. So part of that is what I've been contemplating as I've been doing my work. And my work also relates to quilts, which I think are a real symbol of our home, the comfort of home with a quilt, and that idea of connecting with others through a good old-fashioned quilting bee and spending time connecting with others through either something like a shared interest like quilting or painting or whatever it may be, bringing people of different interests together through a shared.
So how was the decision made to partner with the three artists?
That was actually a decision by the Two Rivers Gallery. They were familiar with the three of us. Mo Hamilton and myself live in Prince George. Catherine Riddell is an artist who currently lives in Revelstoke, but spent a year in Prince George and started to form a relationship with the Two Rivers Gallery. And the curators from the gallery just saw a similar common thread in our artwork and thought it would be an excellent partnership. And I'm really excited because both Mo and Catherine are both friends of mine who I've not exhibited with before, but I've spent quite a bit of time actually making art with them. So it's really nice to be here exhibiting in a formal setting with them.
Very nice. And let's talk a little bit specifically about your art. And I understand you work in geometric watercolors and graphite as well. I took a look at some of your works and they're quite fascinating.
Oh, thanks. I'm really interested in the idea of repetitive patterns, the idea that geometrics give us a defined sense of space. I feel a sense of actually freedom when you create a framework. So I actually find that if I try and plot out the composition too much, that actually stifles me, and being able to go systematically do one layer of lines, add some color, and then add some more color, step by step by step, it actually frees me up from thinking too much about the final product and allows me to actually process a lot of those thoughts through my mind, perhaps about career decisions, about family decisions, and things like that, that I might be able to do as a meditative practice while I'm making my artwork.
It's quite unusual to see lines and then watercolor being done in stages. Usually you'll see, the whole thing of lines being done and then the watercolor being done over top of it. But you seem to work in stages, you say, like a little bit of lines and then some watercolor and then a little bit more lines and more watercolor. Is that your process?
Yeah, about in the summer of 2015, I did a residency at Island Mountain Arts, which is an art school in Wells, BC. And the residency I did was called the Totally Only Island Mountain Arts project. And I mentored under Canadian abstract painter Harold Clunder, and he does watercolors as well as acrylic and oil abstracts, and he actually gave me advice on this because I was trying to do these real geometric paintings and trying really carefully to erase or have my pencil lines not show up, and he actually kind of said to me, he goes, you know what, those pencil lines, they're actually part of the journey. They kind of become something. So I've actually really emphasized the pencil lines, made them more bold, created more white space around the pencil lines, and then added layering elements to the color instead of blending it off of the paper, doing a lot of that color mixing just by wet painting on top of dry, and just allowing myself to explore that, and I think it kind of relates to showing the journey of my creative process as well as showing the journey of my life as I'm contemplating parts of my life while I'm making the artwork.
The exhibit is called Hold Fast, Let Go, Reflections on Home and Family. Can you tell us how your artwork and how the artwork of others carry that theme through?
Well, my artwork relates a lot to sort of the domestic arts of homemaking, like the quilting and such. And it's while I've been doing it, I've been processing a lot of my own thoughts about staying at home versus having the career outside of the home. Mo Hamilton, the artist who does the block printing in the show, she's working on a block printing series called the 100 Houses Project, where she has been contemplating what is home to her. She's moved many, many times, and just contemplating what is it that creates that sense of home. Is it a physical space? Is it a feeling? And also narratives that surround home. So she's done little houses on different adventures. She's got, one of my favorites is when the refugee crisis really came to light. She's got a house with people paddling to get away, little houses paddling to get away, and then houses with fires burning all around them, as we can imagine right now with all the smoke around us. And then Catherine Ruddle, she is also a printmaker, but also comes from a background of textile design. So she carves block prints fabrics and then embroiders into them, and a lot of this has been handed down to her through her grandmother. So she's connecting to her family, earlier generations of her family through her art making practice and those domestic arts. Yeah.
I hope I get the title correct, but I did see one of your works called, I believe, I Feel Comfortable in My Space, or in that space?
Oh yeah, how would I'll have to see if I can remember the title. I think it's I Like Myself Better in This Space, or something to that effect. A year ago, in April 2017, I was the resident artist for a project in Prince George called the Neighborhood Time Exchange, and that was funded by the Two Rivers Gallery, City of Prince George, and the university, Emily Carr University. And what I did in that space was create artwork. But for the first time in a long time, I actually I'm also a school teacher. I took 2 years leave of absence from my job as a school teacher to really focus on myself, my health, and my artwork. And so to actually have a month where I had studio space provided to me, I had a budget for materials, and I got to really take myself seriously as an artist. I discovered how much I really liked that side of myself. Instead of trying to fit it in here and there, it felt really like the life I really wanted to be living. Now, economics don't necessarily always prevent those opportunities, but it was a really great experience to see how much our surroundings and our work-life balance can impact the way we feel about ourselves.
It must be very freeing.
Oh, it's very freeing. And now actually returning to work as a school teacher, I feel much more at peace with that decision, because I realize I actually can be both of those things. I don't need to be the artist or the teacher, that I can meld both of those worlds together. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, this exhibit, it runs from August 17th to September 16th, but it's a traveling exhibit. Where is it going from here?
Okay, it started in Mackenzie. It has now just arrived in Valemount today. It is then after this going to be heading to the village of McBride. So if you don't get a chance to see it in Valemount, not too far of a drive to head off to McBride to see it there. And in McBride, you'll get an opportunity to hear Mo Hamilton talk about her 100 Houses project. Mm-hmm.
Well, they're wonderful works, and I urge everybody to come out and see them here at the Valemount Museum. And as you say, if you can't get here, get to McBride. So thank you very much for being with us today.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Have a great day.